Welcome back to Ask Allison. Here is today's question. I'm struggling with naming my practice. If you have tips, I'd appreciate it. So first, I'd like to thank TherapyNotes. It's a really good name for what they do. TherapyNotes is a practice management system that includes therapy notes. So you guys should check them out. You can use the code ABUNDANT at checkout and get 2 months for free. All right, so when we're in the early stages of building our practice, there are a ton of decisions and so many of them slow us down. So sometimes what's waiting for paperwork stuff to go through, but mostly, sometimes it's like paperworky stuff, like getting your license or getting your LLC or whatever. But mostly what I see is that people wait to jump into practice because they haven't found the right practice name or found a photographer to take new pictures or found the perfect stock photo for their website. And so they can't hit publish. I have no idea if this is that person's scenario, but for anyone in that place not launching their practice because they can't come up with a business name, I implore you, please, to just call it your name and license, like Allison Puryear, LCSW, Inc. It is okay to not have everything lined up. If you come up with an awesome name a year from now, then you can do a doing business as, or DBA, where for I think it's like $150 in most places, you file a form that basically tells the powers that be that your business name has changed. I am absolutely terrified of legal paperwork, and even I could do it. So anyway, let's talk about your practice and what to call it. There are flowery names and there are direct names. And I do not mean to offend anybody. So I'm going to apologize ahead of time if you feel called out. But I'm going to discourage the flowery therapist language in your name. Therapists have like a hive mind around this stuff. And so many names are so common and involve buzzwords that don't really mean anything to your clients. So if as an eating disorder therapist, I call my business Empowered Resilience or Growth Wellness or Deep Roots Strong Blooms, it really means nothing to my ideal clients, nor does it mean anything to my referral sources. All therapists want our clients to feel empowered and resilient and growing and well and grounded and growing. I don't remember what else I said. But yes, we all want these things for our clients. So when you choose a name that speaks to what we all want for our clients, most of the time it's pretty forgettable. Sometimes clinicians call their business something that means a lot to them, but is fairly nonsensical to everyone else. Sometimes that works out, but usually it's just like a weird business name. Like, I love a Monstera plant, but if I called it Monstera Counseling, no, why? Don't do that. Also stay away from business name or your name, counseling and consulting. It just makes it so long. And if clinical consulting is not a huge part of your work, if people aren't constantly seeking you out for consultation, then maybe leave that out. Probably leave that out. So know that counseling and coaching is also something that people will tack on, like Allison Puryear, counseling and coaching. It's something that almost all of our licenses are going to take an issue with. If you're doing coaching, that's outside the auspices of what your license covers. And it is not supposed to be the same business. If you do have a coaching practice, it's not supposed to be the same business as your clinical practice. Consider how many letters are going to be in that URL. URL is like your web address. When I started the business, Abundance Practice Building, it was really as a side hustle. As I said those words, were you counting like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. So if I'd known then that I was going to grow this much and that it would become my main gig and that I would have several team members, I wouldn't have made them or my clients have to write out the 30 letters involved in emailing them, not including their names. So like any of my team members' names at abundancepracticebuilding.com. That's just a lot of letters to type. Don't knock your name. When we get known in our community, it's often because people say like, oh, Jane Doe, she's really good. Not Jane Doe of Pickle Jar Wellness. She's fantastic. It doesn't make your business less legitimate if it's your name instead of a name you made up. So don't knock your name, just because other people name their practices other things. If you want to sell your practice at some point, if you want to grow it into a group practice, it might make sense to come up with another name. But if you plan on having a solo practice, it's cool to just be you. All right, I hope that helps. If once you get the name settled, whether it's your name until you find the perfect business name, or you're just gonna go with whatever you've got right now, and then you need clients for your practice. That's a big part of what we teach in the Abundance Party. So come on over to us at abundanceparty.com. We would love to have you. If you have questions for Ask Allison, please DM me over on Instagram, where I'm abundance_practice_building.